Welcome to Story Lounge. Once upon a time, in the port city of Liverpool, England, four young men were about to change the world. They had no idea that their love for music, their friendship, and their shared dream would lead them to become the most famous band the world has ever known. Their names were John, Paul, George, and Ringo, better known as the Beatles. It all started in the late 1950s, when a young John Lennon formed a band called the Quarrymen. He was soon joined by Paul McCartney and later George Harrison, who brought a new sound to their music with his guitar skills. But it wasn't until Ringo Starr joined in 1962 that the perfect blend was formed. In 1963, the Beatles were still relatively unknown. They played small clubs, hoping for their big break. But everything changed when they recorded a song called Please Please Me. It quickly climbed the charts, and the world took notice. Their first hit was just the beginning. Before long, the Beatles were the talk of the world, known for their catchy tunes, their charisma, and their infectious energy. With their success came Beatlemania. Everywhere they went, fans screamed and shouted. The Beatles couldn't go anywhere without being mobbed. They were no longer just a band. They were a global phenomenon. People lined the streets just to catch a glimpse of them. The world had never seen anything like it. In 1964, the Beatles made their famous trip to America. When they landed in New York, they were greeted by thousands of screaming fans. Their appearance on The Ed Sullivan Show was watched by millions of people, and after that, there was no turning back. The Beatles had officially taken over the world. But the Beatles weren't just famous for their looks or their catchy songs. They were true innovators. With each new album, they pushed the boundaries of what music could be. In 1965, they released Rubber Soul, which was followed by the groundbreaking Revolver in 1966. These albums marked a shift in their sound, introducing new genres, new instruments, and new styles of music. Then came the 1967 album S.G.T. Pepper's Lonely Hearts Club Band, which would go on to become one of the most influential albums of all time. The Beatles embraced the psychedelic movement, using experimental sounds, studio techniques, and lyrics that reflected the changing times. The world had entered a new era of music, and the Beatles were leading the way. By 1969, things had changed within the band. Creative differences, personal struggles, and a desire for independence began to pull them apart. But even as they faced these challenges, the Beatles were still making incredible music. Their final public performance on the roof of their studio in London is one of the most iconic moments in music history. Though the Beatles disbanded in 1970, their impact on music, culture, and the world is undeniable. Their songs are timeless. Their influence continues to inspire musicians and artists today, and their legacy will forever remain. The Beatles proved that music can change the world. And to this day, their songs continue to bring joy to millions of people around the world. So, the next time you hear a Beatles song, remember, you're not just listening to music, you're listening to a piece of history. The Beatles changed the world, and their music will live on forever. Thank you for joining us on this incredible journey through their story. If you enjoyed the story, don't forget to like, subscribe, hit the bell icon for more inspiring tales from history.